All right, welcome to another video from the chart readers. So today we are going to look at the major markets. Before I start, look, this 3-day candle is wildly important as an overall lesson. So I'm going to spend the first few minutes talking literally just about these three. I don't care if it happens on the NASDAQ, on an individual ticker. This is a wild lesson in just stock fundamentals for like a couple minutes. From there, we'll review the major markets like we usually do. So we'll look at the QQQ, the Dow Jones, NASDAQ, the Russell, and SP-500. There we go. So again, you can tell I'm like a little happy to see this. I had no idea what was going to happen, right? But this is really cool that it did. It's not a good thing, by the way. So what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We're actually going to talk about the monthly for sure, because we finished November a couple days ago, which means the monthly candle is now finished. And from there, we'll talk about the weekly and the daily like we usually do. We have our 5 moving averages. There's nothing immediately zoomed in, but I'm sure if I zoom out a little bit, there we go. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do manually draw myself. And then when we're done up here, we use the MACD and the RSI for our confirmations. Again, 80% of the work is up here. This is that cherry on top if we need it, right? Okay, so let's talk about this 3-day candle. So first and foremost, this is a beautiful monster candle, okay? What it does is it breaks not one line, but it breaks 2 lines on a single day. And for the most part, it literally was a non-stop buying fest. There was just a little bit of selling on the top, but pretty much everyone was dying to give their money and get some QQQ shares, okay? Whenever we break one line, I always say I need confirmation. If you break multiple lines, and again, 2 doesn't seem like a lot, but that's almost half of the 5, right? If you break 2 or more lines, the next day's confirmation, it needs to be monstrous, okay? And definitely did not happen. First off, it was a doji. So no matter, even if it gapped up a bit, I still say doji never counts, right? So right away, this doesn't count. The fact that it was higher, right? This thing, it was red, but look, it closed here. And this day closed here. So that's good. But again, this doesn't count. From there, what happens? Okay. We drop to almost 50%, right? We can say 50% of this thing is like roughly right here. This thing drops pretty hard. There's definitely a good buy up to close, you know, looks like a nice green candle. Things are good, but this is really bad. 2 reasons why it's, and again, look, I know it closed over the 100. Trust me, I know that. But again, I'm still saying this is really bad. We never got over the day that we're trying to beat. This thing closed up here. This thing closed down here, okay? It couldn't peak it, you know? I like that we kind of did this bounce of the 8, don't get me wrong. But again, to break 2 lines on a single day, I need monster confirmation. Honestly, I don't think we've broken this 100 just yet. Now, maybe we've actually broken the 8, because look, it has been one day. This doesn't count. This did close over it, and it kind of, you know, actually bounced off of it. Maybe I'll give it the 8, but by no means have we broke the 100, even though this happened. Again, we need confirmation again the next day, right? But this day's confirmation didn't happen. Between these two, that it's not a good sign. I needed it to literally, like I said, just even if it's a penny more, I'll take it just for the technicals. But we couldn't get above it. And again, the doji doesn't count, right? So I am by no means convinced this 100's broken. I don't like that it's Friday, because again, now I'm a little dependent on Monday, right? I don't know if crazy stuff will happen over the weekend, blah, 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 right? But not a good ending, even though it looks like this. And I've seen stuff like this get rejected. Look, normally I'd throw away the RSI because it's, you know, a little choppy and we've bounced off the 8 and stuff. But I think the bad RSI is going to tie to this and it might go down. Just my 2 cents. Spent a little longer than I wanted on that, but I hope you put that in your back pocket and remember, monster candle, 2-day 2 lines, 1 break, I need monster confirmation. Otherwise, I really kind of assume the worst. So just my 2 cents, okay? Now let's talk about the markets themselves. So where are we, right? I mean, I kind of talked about this, right? A lot of people were expecting an even bigger up. I'm at least glad we didn't, drop under the 8, right? Again, we did get over the 100. There are a few good technicals. I'm just kind of, I think, maybe stressing on something I've seen before. And again, that's part of the game, right? I hope I'm wrong, and that's a good thing if I'm wrong. Otherwise, hey, if it goes down, I won't be surprised, right? So where did the weekly close? Actually, the weekly closed really well. We were able to get over the 20. I love that, right? Again, it's a matter of doing it twice. We do want confirmation. And hey, there's enough distance between this that it doesn't actually have to do it in one run. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. But yeah, it looks good on the weekly. I do like this RSI and MACD. So hey, maybe this daily scare that I have won't be too bad. Maybe if it was to go lower, one of these two will hopefully catch it and the week will still be okay. But overall, hey, if we can close over the 20 one more time, where's the 20 at? 291. If we can close over the 20 one more time, I'd love it. If we can get to this, don't get me wrong, that'd be great, right? You've seen it a couple times on my videos. I love getting over peaks. And look, this peak is pretty close to this peak. So if we can actually get over, we'll call it 310, there's a good shot we'll come up here, right? And again, it kind of lines up with these two. So again, it seems realistic. But remember, still a lot to do. And this 100, we've broken it once. We've definitely failed it. We're trying to do it again, and we still haven't touched the 200. So a couple things in perspective. What does the monthly look like? We haven't looked at the monthly in a while. Ooh, okay, so very cool. Actually, did we close? No, this is December. Okay, this one's November. Okay, yeah, this one ended 11:30. We did not get over the 8, okay? That's a real nice back-to-back. It's a real good, I would call it 3-month bounce off the 50, but we're still under the 8, right? And again, if the monthly is not over the 8, that means your weekly is going to be rough. And if your weekly's rough, the daily's going to be horrible. Now, don't get me wrong. It doesn't look like we're dropping hard like this. And we've seen it a number of times. You drop, you go horizontal, and you either go up or down, right? Hey, maybe you'll just keep going horizontal for a bit. But I wish we were over the 8 on the monthly. I'll tell you that much. And like the fact that we just missed it, it's a little disheartening. The one thing I want to look at, hey, look at this. So the high was 293.47 and QQQ closed at 36 cents. You see that? So it was really less than a 10-cent difference between the high and the close of the month. So that's good. People, at least at the end of the month, were just buying, right? So I do like good full candles, but it's about getting over the 8 because that makes me happy with the monthly. That makes me believe at least 2 of the 4 weeks will be good, right? Or maybe 1 will be bad, 3 will be good, whatever you want to do it. But right now, it's nothing screaming it'll do that here, right? So watch it. And again, you heard my fears on that first couple. Let's look at NASDAQ itself. CompQX, NASDAQ Composite. Okay. I'm going to zoom in here. Man, this one was close, but you can see it is under this one, right? So this bad boy closes up here. We get the doji. Doji doesn't count. The next month, it's under, right? Not as under, but again, now the one good thing here, though, is that it only actually broke 1 line, not 2. So overall, that's actually somewhat okay. I didn't need as monstrous a confirmation. I'm glad we're up here. None of these 3 have broken the 100, so it at least agrees with me that it hasn't taken the 100 yet. Okay, I'm happy with that, and I think I'm a little less freaked out about QQQ. So again, I stressed this as an individual, like 3 candle moment, but QQQ to comp Q, which is NASDAQ, actually is kind of saying the same thing for me. It's really saying, hey, we haven't beaten the 100 yet. I'm okay with that. I'll take that. Don't like the RSI. I'll go ahead and throw it away here because this is still bullish. Broke 1 line. This doesn't count. Good confirmation the next day for 1 line only. hopefully we ride it up and break the 100, the 100 finally, right? So, yeah, there's been a good break of the 100 here. You know, not a great one. Obviously, got clustered with the lines here, right? But yeah, it's the 100 wants to break, right? We've had a number of good. We had one real good test, like I said, a break. Yeah, I'm still overall a little bullish and not as worried about that QQQ thing. Oh man, look at this. This is a nice weekly right here. Ooh, I love it. Gets over the 20, no confirmation. No confirmation. I mean, sorry, not 20, 200. And then boom, a monster break of the 200 on the weekly. We've seen so many times that this 200 could be a real monster jump, right? So a good confirmation of this would be great. Unfortunately, the 20, right? Damn, I'm getting like my words, but this was right. The 20 is just a little too tight, right? So if we break it, you know, if we get confirmation, we're still going to need another one for this, right? So wish these weren't as stacked, but oh, I'm liking that we're on the better side of the 200. And look, overall, these are both good. Pretty negative still on the on the MACD, but you know, I'm liking this. This is a good low number. It's still a little too horizontal, but yeah, it'll all start with getting over the 20, and you've heard me talk about 11.5 a couple times back in the like early videos of this. So, okay, cool, nice. Let's go to SPY. I'm trying to keep with SPY and SPX. Okay, so again, same view that we have on QQQ, right? Break two lines, not a great confirmation, and again, not a great confirmation. I'm glad we're over the 8 and the 20. Hey, damn, I did it again, the 8 and the 200. Hopefully we'll get a good confirmation on Monday, but man, not the follow through I would want for a candle like this. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. That's the point that I'm really just hammering in. When you see something like this, you break two lines and one of my horizontals on something I don't have too many horizontals on, really. You expect more. That's the point of it. So the weekly is not bad at all, though. We've definitely taken the 8. My cat's knocking on the door. I'm sorry. All right, let's get you out. I'm gonna. Okay, bye. Good. All right, sorry about that. So the weekly looks good. We've broken the 20. This doesn't count, but this is beautiful. That's a great follow through to it. We do have a decent cluster coming, but RSI looks good, low enough to make a good run through it. And hey, MACD is actually getting closer to positive. That's a good thing on the weekly, right? Because hopefully that means the daily's not too far off. What does our monthly look like here? Okay, nice. Just a good first time break of the 8 since when was this? Since end of March. Man, we haven't been on the better side of the 8 for a little more than half a year, about 3/4 of the year, right? So monstrous break on the month. Hopefully we get a good confirmation this month. That'd be beautiful. SPY, which is the ETF for SPX, which is the Standard & Poor's. So I'm going to go backwards on this way. So again, pretty much the same candle. Again, we did close above the 8 here, and then in April till basically last month, we had not been under it. A good save from the 50. Otherwise, we would have come to my death line, right? That's what this red one is. Our goal is to get back into these gold lines, right? That's good trading. What's that purple line? I don't know why I picked purple. I love the color purple. I'm not going to lie to you, but I don't know why I made that purple. Nonetheless, let's get good confirmation this month, but so far that's a good start here. Again, we see that shaping up on the weekly. We like what we're looking at on the weekly, just like we did on the ETF, right? Pretty much the exact same chart. There is a little bit of a cluster, but RSI is low enough. MACD is getting closer to that 0 number. And look, we did a nice bounce off the 200, right? And we talked about that. Hopefully, what was it? It was comp key, was it not? It was. Hopefully we get that same bounce on the 200 on the weekly, because it's just such a nice line to bounce from. It really, really is. You can see it brought a month and a half of good sustainable uptrend, right? Like that's a beautiful sentence to say. So a bit of a mouthful, but it's a good one. And then again, back to where we were, the same thing. We break two lines. I expect 2 lines worth of confirmation and I didn't get it. In my head, we still have something to prove to break this 200 line. So hopefully it happens on Monday. If it doesn't, I'll be ready. If it does, we might be getting a nice golden cross where the 8 breaks over the 200, where the lowest one crosses over the biggest one. That's a very, very bullish golden cross right there. So that is the SP-500. We have been tying this with the Russell, with the IWM. There we go. Sorry, let me just push M. Why not? Boom. Okay, where are we? Ooh, did this bad boy golden cross? Hey, it did. It literally did what we just talked about. And look at what this one did. This one delivered the confirmation. I swear I had no idea that this one did it. But this is what I was stressing on QQ. Oh man, I feel like some of you aren't gonna, but I swear I had absolutely no idea. But look, you break 2 candles. I know it's not as tight, but this is a doji. When you get, roughly speaking, equal wicks up and down, that's a spinning top, right? That's a doji. So this for me doesn't count. However, we once again break the 2 lines and we get over this day. None of the other ones were able to. This is, I like it. Don't get me wrong, you know, I would kind of like to say let's get one more day confirmation, but truth be told, we never lost the lines, right? I just really don't like this gap down here, but hey, at least it closed there, right? So, hey, I mean, wow, I love it. Man, I love it. Look at that. Look at that. I have a smile on my face. Again, beautiful weekly, monstrous golden cross where our lowest one crosses above the highest one. Looks like it wants to cross this one next too, right? Those are good things to say. Decent art, super, super tight. But hey, if it could actually peek out, that'd be good. And look how close this one is to 0. Closer to 0 than SP-500 was, right? That one was at -40, if I'm not mistaken. SPX. Yeah, -40. And again, QQQ. Oh, on the weekly? Really? -8. I would not have guessed that, actually. Well, let me do one. Hold on. So where was, because I was at NASDAQ. Okay, NASDAQ is at -300. Let me keep this apples to apples. SPX, which is the 500, was at 44. SPY, which is the ETF. Oh, wow. Okay, that makes more sense. That's at -4. So SPY is better than QQQ, which again is an ETF at -8. Okay, and then where we just were sitting is IWM sitting at -1. Okay, a lot of numbers I threw out and I mixed myself up, but one more time. I've always said NASDAQ's doing the worst, and that one's MACD was at -8. Again, pretty high actually. I mean, when I say high, it's a relatively high negative number. It's not as deep as I was expecting, right? But QQQ's doing the worst on the weekly. Then it's the SP-500. Then it's this, and then again, the Dow Jones has been killing it. We'll get to the Dow Jones later, right? But hey, at least we know the Russell is doing better than the SP-500, which has been going back and forth on like what, the last 3 weeks of these videos, give or take. So those keep getting tied. And if you remember last week, I literally missed the 200 on the SP-500, but saw it on the Russell, right? So Russell has actually saved me from looking like a fool on one of these videos. So nice. Back to what I was talking about, which was the Russell specifically. Beautiful weekly right here, right? And one more time, let me just go back to the monthly. Again, I don't know if I did this already, but look, we almost lose it. This line is able to save it. Did we close above the 8 right here? Yeah, we did. I love it. So this technically was above. I don't know if I'll call this a doji confirmation. I don't think I like this, but let's just give me one more month and it'll be a good thing. And honestly, I'm still a little bullish here, but yeah, give me one more month confirmation. Get us over this line. Why not? Where's this line coming from? This one right here is 50% of this guy. Yeah, I'm okay. Let's get over this line. That's a doable line. Cool. Looking good. Looking good. I love it. I am happy, and man, I swear I didn't know one of them was able to do it. This is the strength that all of them almost couldn't do it. I love it. And then let's go to the DJ 30. And then we'll go to the DJ. See, I'm getting my ETFs and my indices mixed up a little bit here. No bueno. So look, again, this one is exactly like the other charts, not like the Russell, right? Monster day, only one line. So hey, we're not as hardcore, but let's be honest, good confirmation is better than this like weaker confirmation, right? We definitely break the 8 only. Hey, this at least is able to stay above 50% candle. I am happy with this. This does get over this, but again, I would want you to get back over this, right? Nonetheless, hey, it was only one line. We've been over the 8 the whole time, and we're kind of doing this bounce, it seems like, right? That seems to be happening. As long as we can hold the 8, you know, the 20 is going to come too. So once we lose the 8, hopefully it's no lower than the 20. Now, what I don't like is the 50 is still way down here. So it would be really bad to lose the 20. However, if we can literally just hold these two until this golden crosses over them, right? Just keep going. Hey, we can at least have 3 to bounce on, right? So overall, I'm okay. This, dude, the Dow Jones has just been monstrous. And like I keep saying, it's waiting for the rest of them to just get over the 200 as well, right? So we're getting closer with the Russell, right? We want it. We're going horizontal with it. We want it, right? We're getting closer. We're getting there a little bit with SPY, right? Again, we want it, we're getting there, but I still need a little better confirmation here. And then QQQ, definitely still a little ways away, but look, if we can break that 100, that's the last one lagging, right? And again, this, I mean, I should show it on the NASDAQ, but this thing's been on the death line, right? So the fact that we're still talking about getting us there is monstrous, right? So back to the DJ 30 real quick. Oh, look how close it was to the golden lines. I didn't even notice that. We'll see it right here. But look, again, love it on the weekly, right? We break the 100. This doesn't count. That's beautiful confirmation, right? And hopefully we just kind of keep going. We do see a nice golden cross right there. The 50's right there, so we might see another one right there. And again, it doesn't necessarily bounce on the 50 itself, but once it breaks the 50, again, I mean the 200, again, it's such a good line to break off of. So the last thing I want to end this with is just doing, oops, no, hold on. I have 2 more things to do. Let's talk about the monthly here. I keep forgetting about the monthly. I don't know why. Where are we on the monthly? Look at this. This is good. Again, we break the 8 only. We get not only good confirmation, but we also break the 20. Hopefully we get a good look. Let's just at least get over this line by the end of the month, right? So that'll give us the one break confirmation of both, right? I would love that. So I don't know why this is a little bit more downtrendy than ideal, but the green was under it most of the time. Now it's kind of looking like it wants to be over, right? So hopefully as the month goes up, this bad boy kind of curves and this stays down. I'd love it, right? It's kind of the same with the MACD, right? It's been a while on the monthly since the red's been on top. I'm hoping a good month maybe gets us over, right? So the Dow Jones has been strong. The last thing we want to have happen is this thing loses its strength before everything gets over the 200, right? So we need the Dow to keep holding. It's super important. So last thing I'm going to do, I actually enjoyed doing this last time and I haven't done it in a while. So we're going to just look at the downtrend across all of them. So we're going to go from the peak of January. You just drop your line until you hit it somewhere, right? So that's where it hits. Obviously here, but that's not what we're trying to show, right? So here is the full downtrend from January almost till, today, right? And you can see once it breaks this, it kind of does this little bounce almost off the line, right? Because you see, you actually lose the 8, but you actually bounce on the trend line. And then it kind of keeps going up. So this has broken and is running above the downtrend. Huge, okay? Now, I'm going to skip the Russell because there is something I just remember from the Russell doing it last time. So let's look at the SPX, which is the SP-500. Again, you can see how similar the lines are. Now, it doesn't quite hit the January peak that I would like. It definitely hits this right here, right? So I'm okay using this line, and you can see S&P 500 has not broken the downtrend, right? Let alone run it up like the Dow Jones has, right? So that's why I keep saying the Dow needs to wait for everyone else to catch up still, at least with this one. And then again, looking at NASDAQ Comp Q, look, again, I think if I extended it, it might hit it. So I'm okay actually with that. This is just a little bit inaccurate in terms of the steepness it should be, though. So let me get rid of that one. Put this one here. Right? So I hit this, we just keep going. We still got a ways to break the downtrend, and this one actually almost lines exactly on the 200. And then let's see if the IWM lines up with this one, because I already know the Russell doesn't line up. Oh, interesting. It was close. Okay, that was close. Let me get rid of that one. Oops, what's going on? There we go. Let me get rid of that one and just show what this one actually is. My goodness, we are close. So again, it's probably right there. So I hit the corner of here. I keep running it out till I hit the highest point, which looked like the corner right there. And as you bring it, we're close, right? So we've broken the 200. You know I love being over all the moving averages. But let's get over this line, and you can almost call it the break of the downtrend, right? Because we still got to go this way a couple more days. So like right there is the break of the downtrend. This will be a very important test. I promise you that. It either breaks 189 and runs to 200, which again doesn't look like a lot, but that's about 10% on an indice. That's huge, right? Again, so there is a good chance Russell moves that 10% up. So I like the Russell a lot, actually. It was very cool. And again, you know I like that 3-day candle here. So all right, I think this was a good review. Overall, look, there's still some positive signs. I'm glad we talked about that 3-day candle initially, but the QQQ still looks like NASDAQ. NASDAQ has agreed it hasn't beaten the 100 yet, so hopefully that does happen. From there, the Dow Jones is still the strongest, still trading over the 200. And then the Russell is doing better than the SP-500. And really, the Russell looks like the strongest, which is good. Hopefully, that'll let Dow Jones maybe calm down a little bit while this one runs up and kind of like tag teams it out, right? So talked a little bit more than I wanted, but I hope this was a good video. It's getting good. Maybe we all get a little Christmas bonus from this last month. So trade safely out there, and I hope you're learning.